So welcome back to the channel. This week we're going to do something that's incredibly mind-bending. It is film photography related, but on a different way, and that's the mind-bending part. We're doing video, and it's a video plugin software that I'm about to review. Now, I don't normally do reviews, and this piece of software allows you to shoot video with the look of Ilford HP5, Kodak Color Plus, beautiful Velvia, Discontinued 400H, and all the Kodak Vision film stock that you can imagine. That's what's interesting. But what's even more interesting is how they've produced this software. They've gone back into the darkroom. They're passionate people about film photography. They're all creatives. They've come together to make this software plugin for videographers who love film. Now, how they make it is by getting the film stock, shooting with it at different exposures, putting it under an enlarger, producing prints, scanning it in high detail to match up colors. That's what this software plugin is about, Dehancer Pro. Now, it works for DaVinci Resolve on the Mac platform. I do believe they're bringing out a Windows one, maybe even Linux too. First of all, I thought maybe this is just a gimmick. You know, we've got a lot of film simulation software that's been knocking about for a while. You can download free LUTs, you can apply that to your video. So what's the difference? You know, I could just get some LUTs, I can get some basic software and get this working. No, this actually takes it a little step further, a lot further. And that's what's exciting, and that's what I'm going to review. Now, normally I don't do reviews, and this is a sponsored video, I have to say that. They contacted me through Instagram, and I looked at the product and I said, yeah, I would like to do a review on this because it interests me. And it interests me how it's made, because the people behind it are passionate about film. So the question that I want to know is it worth the money? You know, is it better than LUTs, you know, free LUTs that you can download? Does it benefit film photographers and videographers? Those three questions I want to answer in this video, and I'm going to give a conclusion at the end on the pros and cons of the software. Now, I want to talk about a little bit about color science and color grading. Now, I am fairly new to it because normally I shoot my Fuji camera. I have an XH1 here, and I shoot it with the film simulations that are built in, and I'm very happy with that. But for doing this video, I learned to shoot F-Log, and I've discovered that F-Log is actually wonderful because you've got more, you know, you've got more longitude of what you can do back in post. And you don't get those artifacts when you want to do a little bit more contrast or you want to change exposure. So F-Log is probably, if you want to use this kind of plugin, or if you want to use free LUTs, I would definitely go with F-Log if you're using Fuji. Or if you're using a Sony or a Panasonic camera or a Blackmagic camera, they will have their own log profiles. Now, the software plugin, Dehancer Pro Plugin, has its own camera profiles, of course, but you have the option to use Rec 709 and to use ACES, depending on which, you know, color science that you're into. So I'm going to just stick to my F-Log. I'm going to show how it's used in DaVinci Resolve, because you can use it in two different ways in DaVinci Resolve. You can use it, you know, just add it in the edit as settings, or you can actually use it in the color area and add it as a node. And that's quite nice because you can have your own workflow and you can decide how your look is throughout, and you can save those and apply those to video footage as you wish. Now, that's pretty much an advanced feature that I'm not going to go into much in DaVinci Resolve in this video because I'm not really a DaVinci Resolve expert. I'm pretty handy with it. I'm more interested in having a look at this plugin and using the features within this plugin, which are grain, halation, bloom, and and a few other things as well in it. There's quite a lot in it. It's not just a small thing. It's quite a lot to cover in it. But I also want to show you some video footage that I've taken with this, because that's probably what you're interested to see. You know, how does it look? So I'm going to give a brief overview of the Dehancer Pro plugin in terms of the settings and what you can do and the features. So first of all, we've got the input, and as I said, you can use Rec 709, ACES, or a particular camera profile. If you use a camera profile, your exposure compensation can be adjusted here. And then we're straight into the film simulations, and there's 56 different film simulations in here. You've got a lot to choose from, and each of those of course can be tweaked, and you can disable the film simulation and use the other features on the plugin too. So you've got quite a flexible way of working through the actual plugin itself. So you got motion picture, you got still photography in black and white and color. You've also got, let me get this here, the Ambro type, which is an alternative process. I did ask them about cyanotype. Maybe they come back to me, and I'll tell you about that at the end of the video. I just thought it would be fun to mention, because I do have quite a few people who follow my channel regarding cyanotype. So film simulation, for example, 400H here from Fuji. We can change that, the blacks and the whites in this image if we want to, which is quite nice, normal stuff. And this is where it gets interesting. It's called print, and this is where you would, if the negative was printed out, and that's what's specifically important about this plugin. I've actually printed out the color palette on paper and scanned it, and this is where this is coming from, basically. So we got our exposure and the tonal contrast, which I like very much. To be honest, this part, the print part, is really where you're going to get the look that you're looking for. So let's change it to Portra 160. Let's bring that. See how that would look if I play it. Yes. So down here, I've got my color head, and this is just like in the darkroom with your enlarger and the various. Let me just enable that here. So we could, the yellow and the blue and the magenta and green and the cyan and red. So just if I want to tweak that a little bit, that's basically coming out of the darkroom. And then we got our grain here. Now, I like a little bit of grain on video, but not too much. I don't really want, I want the look of it more than the nostalgia
but this is a personal preference. And the great thing is, of course, you can enable it or disable it. Then there's halation, and then there's bloom, and then there's vignetting, and film breadth, and gate weave. If you're working with halation or bloom, they will be a bit different for each film stock. And a nice thing is that you can just have a look at a mask here and see how that's going to work. And if I want to just change the intensity, just have a little bit, I can do that and take my mask off. So let's just see what there's a subtle change on it, very subtle changes. And that's what I would recommend having a go with this plugin, is to do subtle changes to really make it a unique look and to make it, to give it warmth and a feeling. That's what I think is important if you're for storytelling, especially in video. So let's disable our halation there and let's have a look at the bloom. So we'll enable that. Now I have my bloom up quite high here when I turn on the mask. So we can just bring that down just a little bit, re-enable it. I'll play it here if I can. Okay. So I'll bring my playhead again back. That's my mask. Enable, disable. Yeah, you can see it there. It depends, really depends on the scene, of course. If I leave my mouse there, we can see all the film profiles there that are in there, from Fuji Chrome, Fuji Color, Portra, Ultramax, Kodak Vision. It's quite a list. That's the bit I like about it. And the expanding and the print and the color head and the grain. Halation and bloom is also nice to have, and vignetting. Film breadth, gate weave, bloom and halation. I'm going to go into each of these individually now. What is halation? Halation is a reddish kind of glow around high contrast edges. It actually comes from the layers in the film where the light bounces through the layers and hits off the back of the camera or the back of the film. Now, most modern films have an anti-halation backing which absorbs most of the light, but it isn't perfect, and that's where we get this reddish glow. Of course, you can emulate this in DaVinci Resolve under the color area, but it takes quite a lot of work to get that exactly kind of right and to tweak it. However, with Dehancer Pro, they have their own algorithm built into the Halation plugin that does the work for you. It's important to mention, within the project settings of DaVinci Resolve under the image scaling, to choose bilinear for resize filter. That will ensure that you get the best effect out of halation when you export your video. So now we're going to talk about bloom. I'll just enable it for the scene here, and you can see straight away around my windows and around where it's bright, and on the gutters here there's a little bit of a glow. So if we play that, just stop it there, we can increase or decrease the diffusion. You'll see see how it changes on the windows. We can make it a little stronger, and it's with subtle changes it works pretty well. You can also change the hue. You've got quite a lot of granular control here. I'm going to give a short demonstration of gate weave and how it looks, and this is on the right hand side, and I'm going to also give a demonstration on film breadth, again on the right hand side, and how it looks. And you can see how the exposure and the colors are changing. So that's an overview of the Dehancer Pro plugin and its features from top to bottom, and that's how the workflow works. It's really nice and simplified workflow if you want to colorize your video in a certain look or feel. Of course, you can use more advanced features within DaVinci Resolve in the color area, and as you've seen that I have a conversion from my XH1 F-Log to Rec 709, and I also got a curve in there. And at the end, I do the Dehancer Pro plugin. Of course, you would put sharpening after that, and you could have also other things like color wheels to change maybe your white balance or skin tones, as well as other nodes within that. Now, I kept my workflow quite simple. I said was, is it worth its money? Now, that's a good question. For the Pro version, which is everything that I've shown you, for $349 with LUT generation and ACES support, which is perfect for a professional studio with colorists. However, if you're only a small production company or you're just making videos on a regular basis, then maybe the light version would suit you better. The only difference really is it doesn't have ACES support or LUT generation. There's the opportunity also to purchase the grain and the bloom at $39 and $49 respectively, and halation coming in at $79. The gate weave and the film bread at $49, and there's an option if you want to do stills as well for $99. For my money, as for what I do, I really think the light version is a great deal. It has everything that I would want in there with bloom, film grain, the color head, the print options, and these are the things that, for me, as somebody who makes videos on a regular basis for YouTube, and I want to improve my color workflow, that would be the way I would go.
So is it better than LUTs? Well, LUTs will get you so far, while the Dehancer Pro plugin has so many options in terms of color density, tonality, black point, white point, and it makes it so easy to actually tweak the look that you're after and get to that quite quickly. Even if you bought a professional LUTs pack with lots and lots of options, you're coming close in terms of price when you compare it with the light version of this product. So yes, I think it is worth the money. Now, does it benefit film photographers and videographers? If you're a professional who's making videos and you want a certain look that goes with your film photography, or you're doing kind of weddings or events, or you need to make videos that look a certain way, and you need to produce them in a quick time frame, I would definitely say yes, it is a benefit. If you're uploading to YouTube or Vimeo on a regular basis and you want a certain style, a look to your content, definitely, yeah, this is definitely something that will definitely benefit you. So pros and cons of the Dehancer Pro plugin. Yeah, the first one would be it's easy to create a unique look pretty straight off the bat. Not much effort. Its workflow is very granular, it's simple, it's, from the top of the plugin down to the bottom, that's really how it's put together. So it's well laid out and well thought out, especially when you're coming from a darkroom or an analog point of view. That works very well. They've thought it through in that sense. You can feel that this where it's coming from. With 56 film simulations, that's quite hard to beat. There's no product on the market that will do that. Having said that, and here comes the cons, I would like it to see Ilford FP4 or Delta 3200 in there. It's only on the Mac platform right now, and it only works in DaVinci Resolve. I would also like an option for a student discount, because there's a lot of students out there who are making films on a budget, and it would be nice that there was an option if you're a student filmmaker. So conclusion, if you're an event or a wedding photographer who shoots video for your client, I definitely think the Dehancer Pro plugin is worth its money because it will get you up and running quite fast. Now, if you're, really die-hard film person who really wants to shoot on Super 8, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that and have that look. Of course, Super 8 is time intensive, and that's okay. If you want to shoot 16mm and have the money to shoot Kodak Vision, go ahead, but then you wouldn't be getting this plugin. But for the rest of us who would love to shoot film like 16mm and have that look, or do something completely unique, I think Dehancer Pro have hit the mark here and brought something that is really lovely to the market, that you can use this for storytelling, make something that's interesting, and it adds more to video. And I've definitely seen that over the week that I've used it. I've actually enjoyed it. It reminds me very much of Silver Effects and Color Effects, those products for still photography. And it was that reminder, because of its ease of use, that I'd have to say I would recommend this product. It's really awesome. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please put some comments down below if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe, and hope to see you on the next video. We'll be back to film photography, or alternative process, or digital, who knows. Thank you for watching.
If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little notification bell, and hope to see you on the next video. Goodbye.